This ain't the life that we chose, but it's the life that we live in. Know we belong on the top, but we ain't tripping, cause we'll get there in a minute. Yeah, we'll get there in a minute, cause we'll get there in a minute. Know we belong on the top, but we ain't tripping, cause we'll get there in a minute.
What up, what up? We back, season 2, episode 7. We'll get there in a minute. Y'all know what the vibes. We done switched it up a little bit. The coach done let me spin. He told me, if you want to win, let put Booby in. You want to win, put Booby in. Let me spin, coach. Let Booby spin. But you know what it is. You got all the guys here. What's good, fellas? What's up?
Man, I appreciate this intro because right after my name, it says for the culture. Big Turbo for the culture, man. I'm just throwing that out there, man. You know, it was God's plan. That's all.
God's plan. We know it.
What
you doing, Kev? You on time? you on time, Kev? Okay. Kev, this is we gonna switch a little bit. My man Kev is kind of like like when on the 5 Heartbeats. Who was the lead singer on the 5 Heartbeats? Eddie Kane.
Leon. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, he was Leon. Eddie Kane. That's who Kev is. Kev is Eddie Kane. I think Kev. We forgot Cooking with Kev. It's coming. It's still coming. We still on Kev time. So it's. But how you doing, Kev?
I'm doing well. The funny thing is that I didn't have any technical issues this evening, so I was actually here a minute after the set deadline. Speaking of being on time, I think that's a couple weeks in a row. But I'm just saying. It took y'all a couple minutes to get yourselves going, but I'm always here. I'm ready to go.
We was working. Our devices was working on Friday and Sunday, but
good point.
Things slow down when you gotta make adjustments on the fly. What can I say? What can I say? Sudden changes, man. Sudden changes. You go with the flow.
If you call 48 hours a sudden change, then I guess that's sudden. I don't really. But it's all right, man. It's all right. Communication is something we all need to work on, and it's all right. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually.
We'll get there.
But I'm doing all right, man. Thanks for asking. Much appreciated.
My man TC.
You know
TC
me,
the
man.
host. TC the God. Wait, what's good?
I'm chilling, right, man. Appreciating it. About to talk some shit. You know what I mean? I don't gotta, mediate. So I'm in here, man, ready to get right, man. About to be real pugnacious out in this joint, man. You feel me?
Yeah. Let's talk about it. It's
niggas
weird because now I can't.
For 3 days straight, dog.
And I've been killing that word.
What?
Been killing that word, man. Pugnacious. Y'all look it up if you need to. I'm ready to go.
Straight, yeah.
Kev, summarize that for us, Kev.
There's not much to summarize. Not much to summarize.
No, you usually hit us with the definitions. But I know that gotta be in the Urban Dictionary.
I believe it's just in a regular dictionary. Eager, quick to argue, quarrel, or fight.
Woo! You heard it. The boy vocabulary is crazy.
I figured it meant in the context that he used it, somewhat overly aggressive.
Come on,
and ready to be combative. But it's all right. We'll figure it.
I like it. But yeah, we got a full one for y'all fellas. We got a full one for everybody.
For the ladies too. Hey.
Ladies, fellas. Yeah. Kev Hive. We know the Kev Hive is here. Kev is holding us. Kev has really got us on his back. Yeah, keep it all the way at being. That's why we kind of bend the Kev's whim a little bit here.
Well, we keep it.
We'll get there in a minute. But dealing with Kev, we're gonna get there in an hour. But it is what it is.
I'll be trying to kick Kev off.
Man, the jokes.
We probably lose mad fans if we kick Kev off, man.
Facts.
Gotta keep him. Man, 5 words a show. It's nuts out here, man.
Yo.
Quality.
I like it. That's a good rebuttal right there. I like that.
But yeah, so the talk of the town has been that Black Messiah, the Judas and the Black Messiah movie. And I just kind of see how everybody feel about it. Everybody seen it?
I mean, shit. I thought it was amazing. We got to give Daniel Kaluuya his flowers. If I said his name right, Kalei. I'm sorry, but that man has been just killing stuff. And for him to play Fred Hampton, he did a really good job. From William O'Neill, Lakeith Stanley, everybody really did what they had to do. I can't wait to really dive in fully, but it was really special to see some of the little things that that you have to most of the time read about that have got to come in light in a motion picture sense, which was, to me, was awesome. It was awesome in that sense. Mm-hmm.
True, my man. Kev, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, and a quick snapshot, I'll say that too. It was something that I'm glad was put together, because just understanding how people consume information nowadays, it's to put it in that form is gonna get to a lot more people than a book or some other means might. So I think it's something that needed to be put out there, and I'm glad it was made. But there's a lot to talk about. I see us having some different views in some areas, but I think we're gonna get into it.
Did it?
I thought it was very important, man. I feel like, I think the part that stuck out to me most was towards the beginning, when he was on stage, pointed to Fred Hampton and said, "This is public enemy number one, more than the Chinese, more than this was the person that's number one on the hit list." You know what I mean? He wasn't a terrorist. He didn't shoot nobody. He wasn't stealing. He didn't do anything. But the power is what he was going to do. You know what I mean? And how he was able to talk. He had the gift of gab for real.
Oh my goodness.
He was able to unite everybody. He just,
I'll be wanting to do that in my mind, to unite everybody, but then I can't because I don't like everybody.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, that was my biggest takeaway from it. So like I see we got pessimistic Trevor here. This is the type of energy I need. This is the type of energy I need from my guy.
Trev is mean, yo.
I could unite the people, but then I was like, nah, man, like I could do it. I get too mad, and it's like, nah, I can't be that. There's just times like it's like, yo, we gonna go full blast. I'm not trying to unite, Everett, man. Y'all done talk trash to me, and do this. Let's get the team riled up. But it was good, man. I will say though, I definitely want to get into this, man. But I feel like it'd be your own people. Mm-hmm. So as much as we want to say FBI, this and that, and there's gonna be taken. FBI set him up to do what he had to do, but at the end of the day, it'd be your own people. So that's what really stood out to me, man. It was crazy. It'd be your own people.
I like what DZ said when he talked about that beginning part, public enemy number one. The only thing I think about is when you said he wasn't a terrorist in the form of the U.S. and the U.S. government. I think he was absolutely a terrorist. He went against everything that capitalism stood in this country stood for. In my eyes, I think in order to make real change, you're gonna in the form of, like, as a black person, for black people in this country, the only way to get that is to tear it down. That could, and to me, honestly, that could do more harm than good for us as a people. Just depending, like, where do we start? Where do we go from here? Like, what is? It's a lot of answers that we don't get from it. But what we do know is what the current system right now ain't working, at least for us. So
talk, boy. Talking that talk.
It's tough. It's tough. It's a tough thing.
I want to come back what you said, because do you know what terrorism is? Like, they spent it to be terrorism, but do you know what terrorism really means?
No.
So it's an unlawful use of force, right? Okay. Nothing he did was against any laws. He literally walked neighborhood to neighborhood and explained exactly and broke down the government and how it didn't work for people. That's all he did. There was nothing unlawful about it. There wasn't no extreme force. He said, fuck the police. They should die. But no police died in the hands of him. Like, one of his members obviously, defended himself and that happened, but like there was no one harmed because of him. They were actually very militant, and no one was harmed, and everyone basically stood in line. So the streets were actually safer with him on it than off of it.
When I say terror, I'm not talking about to terror to like the community. I'm talking about to the U.S. government. It was 100% terror. The government is built on capitalism, and everything that he was preaching was a socialist, a democratic socialist, whatever, however you want to put it. It was outside of the norms of what this country was built on. So anybody who's fighting against that, in my eyes, is looking to break down that system. To cause terror to that system.
I'll add this to that before you come back again, DZ, that I think I agree with Session that it was in their eyes terrorism because it was something that, and they bring it up in different points throughout the movie. It's something that's threatening the way of life, their normal everyday life. Instances have we heard that same rhetoric when we've heard where a religion became something as everyone behind that religion is someone that is evil. When they were bringing together people of all kinds of that was a threat to the fabrication of American capitalism. So like said, it was terrorism because again, you bringing together the many to combat the few with the money just doesn't, that's something that threatens their everyday way of life.
It doesn't mean just because it threatens their everyday life doesn't mean it's terrorism.
Bingo.
Well, it got everyone else to buy in behind before. So everyone buys into the mindset any other time. You say it's dangerous, it's fearful, they're here to kill you. Everybody's like, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Go get them.
So you're a black man. You walk in the streets, you're necessarily threatening people's way of life just by being the color of your skin. Are you a terrorist?
Message.
To them, in our eyes, that we are. 100%.
But it doesn't matter what their eyes are. It's actually what the definition of terrorism is.
That is not it. But the way that they were weaponizing it is that is their
to make them feel better about the lack of integrity that they are having doing their actual job. Only thing they are is revolutionists. That's not terrorism. That is saying there might be a better way. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to unite. There's no real unlawful way. And the only way is lawful is that they're going to protect themselves by any means. They have, what gun laws did they necessarily break that they couldn't do?
None.
There's nothing terrible. They actually, if anything, use the laws that are taught within this country and was saying, we're going to do that. And what is wrong with that? That's not terrorism. They use what was taught in the system. They used the system. The only thing that made them a terrorist is that they were black.
Message.
So to say terrorism in their eyes that's wrong. That's not it. That ain't it. It can never be it. They had an idea and said, look, okay, cool. We're going to use this based off what you said is allowed. Guns. They fed people. Why is that? Where in that is making their everyday life, you know what I mean, affected.
So I'll explain this. I'll say this then. The reason why that threatens them is because it puts people, it brings the awareness to the table that these things are not in place because of the government. These things are in place despite of the government, in spite of the government.
Okay.
So again, you're bringing people together and teaching them and empowering them in the laws and their, like, what they're actually owed and the way things should be. That is a threat to the few that have the most money.
No, he doesn't give a shit about that. It's threatening capitalism. It's all about money. If he gets a whole neighborhood united and they basically are self-dependent, then that takes money.
Right.
Money. It's all money. It has nothing to do with anyone's lives or threatening anything. It's money. You're fucking with our money by educating everyone and making everyone smart and not dealing with this or that. And that's what he said. Capitalism is not for us.
So that's basically what that's where I was going with it, as far as it was a terror. What he was preaching was a terror to capitalism. It was You can't be a revolutionary and play. It's not how that works.
But he did.
But he technically did play by the
He
rules.
played by the rules.
He played by their rules. He played by like it's like obviously like with the guns and shit like that and like
allowed to have that.
But the government does socialism in certain ways too.
All the time.
In certain ways, but it's not.
I'm saying in that sense, hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
If there is low income, whatever, they necessarily can feed and teach. It's really just all he did was try to make a public school slightly better. In the sense, in that sense, okay, he gave free food for the children. What is school? That people that can't go, sheet or whatever, you're getting those free meals a day. He didn't do anything that's making it. He's saying, look, we're taking the money, as far as DZ said, and we're going to make it so that we don't necessarily need the government to do it on their when they after shit's already been tore down.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. And I don't want anybody to get anything misconstrued in a sense where, because we can get into a back and forth about this and that. We basically saying the same thing. I just in order for you to start a revolution, there has to be some pushback against the system that is in place. Correct.
I mean, my point was just being intentional.
The point of it is, I'm sorry, go ahead, Deez.
I said I just wanted to be intentional on our words, because you're saying it's a terror to the government. It's just a threat. Like, you could say threat, but I don't like him being associated with terrorism, because that's what they were trying to spin. But it's like, at the end of the day, I operated within your laws to help my people and to help every person in the neighborhood realize that it's you who's the end. Like, we're not a terror to you. We're a threat, and we're waking people up. So I just want to be intentional with the words we use, because, you know, RIP, the great man isn't here. So I just want to clear the air. Like, no near Marxism is evil in people's eyes. You know, communism is the worst thing in the world. But when you bring up socialism, people are like, government has too much power. It's just like, all right, so you don't fuck with socialism, but you like paved roads, ambulances, and shit like that. You fuck with capitalism, which the government is just raping everyone in the middle, but you don't like communism and you hate socialism because of control. Like, it's just a mindset. Like, we're brainwashed to think a certain way, and we can't get away from it. But he means a terrorist. Like, he was a threat to the fucked up systematic oppression that was placed upon us, but he was not a terrorist by any means, bro.
No, you're completely correct. What I understood Sesh saying was that that's the way he was labeled, and the spin that was put on it to again have those people in the FBI be fearful and be willing to carry out those jobs and those laws. Even the dude that infiltrated the FBI, he was told he's going into a terrorist organization. He compared them to the Klan at one point and said they elicit fear and terror. They are divisive. Like, that's the way that it's spun. But again, I do not agree with that at all. But that's the way, in order to paint the evil picture, that it's spun around to create fear in the heart and minds of others. It wasn't, and Fred Hampton was one individual. He was a leader of a chapter, bringing together people within that area. Threat, because the Black Panthers were a nationwide organization, his threat was that much greater to the overall system because of what he was able to do within his community.
Real talk, too. We got too many isms, man. Socialism, Marxism, capitalism. What's up with all these goddamn words, man? You know what I mean? This is crazy.
Says the man that lovely vocabulary. It's all right.
Vocabulary is different from putting isms on stuff, man. It's really over here, just, man, throwing too many words at me, man. All these isms, man.
You just try to be nations, that's all.
You know what I mean? Wow, it's just really crazy. I just feel like we just throw stuff on stuff just to mean stuff. Like, it don't even really make sense. Ism this, communism this, Marxism this, socialism that, this and that. Like, man, this shit is crazy. That's all I got to say on that, man.
You know what the point of the isms is, right?
I don't know. We need some Trevisms.
No, we
Give
don't.
us some Trev.
Yo, yo.
That might be a segment, guys. That
Yo.
might be a segment.
Yeah.
Trev-isms.
Try.
Yo, just picture the scene, right? When he walked into the right, and they all circled out. Just being Fred Hampton in that situation. We're yo,
100%.
we are dead.
We going out the right way.
No, we're not.
This ain't the right
But
way.
that's why you have to surround yourself with people that are not like-minded.
Yo, Trev gonna lose it. Everybody got guns but us at the moment. Trev gonna lose it, and I'm just gonna be like, "Oh
We
God!"
going out.
Yeah.
Deuce in the boot. We
Uh,
take out at least 2 or 3 before we go out.
Yo.
I'm just saying.
okay.
Showing possibility. Or we gonna leave free and come back and get the 5 guns we had in the car, and we gonna go out that way.
Trev got the idea. We got to tell him like, "Yo, Trev, let me get this one." Yeah.
Probably 100%.
Yeah.
We're doing it right.
Yeah.
We going out with a bang, man. That's that. We ain't just gonna sit there and lay down. Shoot me.
Easy. And that whole spiel you gave us as far as the threat and terrorism, I think you're 100% right. More so what I was saying was that he was a threat, and that is why they were labeling him as a terrorist. But you mentioned in that whole spiel about communism, capitalism, all the isms, the Trevisms, you know, all that good stuff. And we you know we in a group there. I push back on that some. What system, if there is a system that's going to work? I don't think, me personally, I don't think it's a system that is going to work just because of the people that you put in place of these systems. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. In a capitalist system, when you have people who can make billions upon billions of dollars during a pandemic, and you still have people living on the streets, that's absolute power in the capitalistic system. And socialism, in my eyes, you're just giving that power to the government, and we see how that works. I know the paved roads and ambulances. I don't know what the paved roads look like in Huntington, but I can tell you the paved roads in Baltimore City and certain neighborhoods don't. The neighborhoods. I know the ambulance don't come when you call the first time, or if they might come, you might be already dead. So it's a little shaky. It's a little shaky, and I understand where you get at it, but how y'all feel about that?
I think for one, you need to acknowledge Baltimore is Baltimore. I'm not paving any roads in Baltimore, and I am not coming through with the ambulance in Baltimore. We all seen The Wire, bro. We all seen The Wire. I'm taking my time to fix those roads because I'm pulling up with a $40,000 worth of equipment, and I may not leave with the. Y'all can figure that out.
I'm gonna let you go, right? Because I've been the way y'all grew up, so I'm gonna let y'all rock. I'm gonna let you get it off. I'm gonna let you get it off right now.
That's amazing. What a.
You the host today.
Yeah. So that's why this is happening right now. I said this. I'm just gonna put this out there before I let Trev and Kev go. Every day, I have this thought, right? It's been like on somewhat of a case study of mine that there is not one New York person or anybody from New York State that are alike. And I've been looking at this from my family. A nice bulk of my family are from New York City. My mom was born in New York City, just giving out a little bit of information as to how far this case study's going back. And that part of my family is a little on the nutty side. I go to college. My college roommates are from New York. A lot of my teammates from New York, Brooklyn. We got 2 Brooklyn cats at one point. None of these dudes are alike. None of them are alike, and all of them have some kind of like little. We see what Trev's kind of, he got his Trevisms, and he's on go all the time. He's on go all the time. So you know what type of time he on. You got Deezy, get money, big turbo over here, and then you got Granola Kev. You got Granola Kev from Brooklyn. He from the
Yeah,
old Brooklyn, but he roll like he from the new Brooklyn.
Kid from
It's
Waterville.
I don't.
Hey, come on, man. Put some respect. Put some respect on where I grew up.
He's out here throwing shots right now. It's just crazy.
It's
Some
Saturday,
cup,
baby. Bow.
But socialism and capitalism, Kev. From my guy what are you from Flatbush?
I'm originally from Crown Heights, the
Crown
style.
Heights, man. Throw your head up, cuz. Throw your head up, cuz. Let them know.
Border, right across from Lincoln Terrace Park. Shouts to 3.
South by
But yeah,
South.
so I'll say there is no one right system. It has to be a little bit of everything, or a system that allows smaller systems to exist within it, which I don't really think is something that, like you said, those that are benefiting from that will allow to happen, because that distributes the wealth in a way that can't be as controlled. So I think it has to be a mixture of a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Kev, man. I think it's hard fitting upon million of individuals and making it one system. All right. I equate it to like if you're a trainer and you're working at an individual for body weight goals, right? Every individual is different. Every situation is different. Every house is different. Every income is different. There's so many different factors to say, man, this is the one thing that we're going to live on and die on that hill. I just think it's impossible. Like I said, there's too many isms. I don't have even a best way to describe what we should or shouldn't do, right? Because there's so much corruptness and there's just so much, like, I don't even know where to go. So I don't have an opinion on which one is the best, right? I only know that I think we're in, most of the time we're a capitalism country, and we see where that's gotten us. So is it time for maybe change? Yes. Is socialism the answer? I don't know, but we got to look at something in the mirror and say, this isn't working. Where do we go? And not even working. Okay, what does work? What doesn't work? And what can we make better?
Who's asking the questions, and who do the answers benefit?
Well, I mean, we all know, and that's the answer right there. It's $1 million. We know who everything benefits to. So I think for us to sit here and play, that's why what Fred Hampton was trying to preach, it wasn't that he was preaching socialism amongst his community, because he knew, we talk about where you are, that was the best way for him and his people. Right?
That's a fact.
But it may not work somewhere else, right? Because they may be ahead. Their community might look different. So it all depends on where you are, for your people, I guess, is the biggest thing. What your town, what your city looks like. How do you make that work? I don't know. I don't plan on being president or in the government or whatever to even think about that stuff, right? I just know I'm just going to try to make shit work and forget about the isms.
We kind of touched on it earlier. Go ahead, Kev.
I was gonna say that's a beautiful thing about the Black Panther Party that a lot of people, I think, don't realize, is that they were known for certain things within certain areas. In California, their purpose of starting up within that area was to make sure that the young Black men and families knew of their gun rights. So that was something that they promoted, and they actually became more popular on and got the community together on in that area. In Fred Hampton's chapter in Illinois, that was getting the community together and doing more of that activities. But in other areas, they did medical clinics. They did jobs for single parents, either taking care of the children that didn't have parents, or like finding other ways to really gain that sense of community. But they found what was important within their areas and were able to get the community together on that one or several topics or reasons. So that in and of itself was a danger to the way of life for those few. So it's like shout out to the Black Panther Party and what they were able to do, and I hope that a lot more people go out and do some more digging and try to learn some more about the greatness that was the Black Panther Party.
All right. So one of the things, or like one of the other last things I want to kind of touch on the movie was that unity part of it. We kind of touched on it for a bit there, but we saw what Fred Hampton was trying to do. He was trying to unite. Like, it wasn't more so just about his community, as in like the Black community. He was trying to expand it more into we're all the same financially, the financial structure, us being poor, and the police, the government, they treat us the same. Mm-hmm. But it's hard for us to see it because of the color barriers that the current system kind of puts in place to kind of divide us. So he was breaking those barriers a little bit. How y'all feel about that?
It's a beautiful thing.
Trev looked like he got something to say. Trev
yeah,
like he got something to say.
Yeah, I'll start. I'll just say it's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad that portion of it was shown, because I think he said in many different aspects, the power is in the people. So the power is within the numbers. The more people that believe in the message, the stronger that message becomes. So I think he had the right mindset in trying to unite his the Hispanic community, the what was it, the Patriot, I don't know, whatever it was, another group that they said at one point were known for throwing a brick at MLK, but he was able to get them to see his vision, which was a better way forward for them as well. So I think it was something that he was smart to do, and the power's in numbers, and the more people that heard his message, the better they were for it.
What you got there, DZ? I'm gonna say. I'm trying to gather my thoughts on this.
Yeah, I thought it was great, and I thought, they knew when to take him out, because you gave this man 6 more months, it was gonna get real spooky for them. I mean, my man walked into a Klan rally and said, "Yo, listen what I gotta say," and walked out unscathed, because I mean that's the conversations that need to have, because capitalism fully functions when you divide people, because it's more profitable. So if people come together and like, yo, I'm fucked up, you're fucked up, I'm Black, you white, what's really the issue here? Then there's a lot of questions that get answered, a lot of questions that's being asked that weren't being asked, and a lot of people, not being no longer demonized, then that's when the real problem starts. So that's why I said he had the gift of gab, and telling you, they knew something had to happen now. So Lakeith's character was very, 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 very important, and that's why they gave him so much money and did what he wanted.
I think there was some validity to unifying all, but I also think the unification was definitely a slight bit overrated. And I say that to say this. I think when you try to unify all, then now you are trying to. Now everybody is thinking alike. Everybody's thinking the same, right? There's not much for growth and things like that. But then now I also say that too, because now, yes, for the most part, when you walk into the Klan rally, they had some very similar issues. That is 100%. I'm not denying that. But then now, when you unify everybody, white, Black, whoever, now you are actually taking away the biggest issue is understanding the privilege behind the Klan rally has. Because it's not the fact that the cops do treat X, Y, and Z the wrong way. It's what happens when that gavel has to be banged. So, yes, we could be unified in the front part of things, but now we've seen it. We've seen it just recently. 2 different protests, right? Really, coming down to going at the same people, but it's how one group was handled versus another group still protesting. So I think it's a slight bit overrated because now there's some things that still won't be addressed. And the biggest thing that the elephant in the room is the privilege people get when, when they do X, Y, and Z wrong versus somebody else doing X, Y, and Z wrong based off color of their skin.
But I think that's a part of the privilege. I mean, if you unify everyone, then there are more people upset about it.
People are not going to be, and that's my thing. I think that's what the issue is. Do you really think people are going to be upset about the fact that they're getting off or somebody? Yeah, they'll be upset. Cool, but realistically, what are you going to do? Like, dang, what's happening.
But that's the thing, though. Like right now, like those people he was trying to put on board, they're still where they were before he spoke to them. So of course, when certain gavels get hit and it's unfair to us, they still have that group that's just like, fuck them.
No, I don't believe in my heart of hearts that they're all arguing for one common goal, but that's just how the treatment is. They're not talking about the treatment that actually what happens when you dive into.
I get that, but you got to crawl before you walk. Like everything isn't going to happen overnight.
And this is the answer, and this is the question I have. How long are we going to keep crawling before we walk? How many times are we going to unify or get this ally or something? The allies have shown time and time again the unity. Man, think about it. From going from Martin Luther King when they walked across that bridge, we had everybody allied and unified together. What has happened? Nothing. Cool. We got to use the same bathrooms, eat the same in the same diners.
Well, but to kind of speak to what you're saying, Trey, my fault to cut you off, but I'm with you. Like honestly, I'm somewhat with you on that. That honestly, that might have been the downfall that might have been the cause of his death, was him trying to unify everybody. Like instead of focusing on us. Not saying like focusing on us, like saying fuck everybody else, but you got to get your house in order first before you can go and try to build a bigger house.
100%.
So it's a similar situation. I know we say like Martin Luther King, they were all in arms. Like what was Martin Luther King's approval rating? It wasn't high when he passed. It got bigger. His message got bigger and bigger once he passed away because he was fighting for the right cause. But us as a people, we weren't where we needed to be. We were working toward it, but we weren't there yet. I just think sometimes we need to kind of scale back a little bit, focus on us. And like I said, not saying fuck anybody else, not saying fuck what y'all doing, but like just put all our energy into us. And once we get to where we feel like we need to be, then we start to incorporate and try to figure everything else out.
Yeah, I get being pessimist is the thing right now, but realistically, are we going to pretend like it wasn't the white people locking arms that stopped them from shooting hoses and shooting us down? Like, that's the thing, though. Like, we needed those allies, whether y'all want to realize it or not. We needed the allies to stop getting fucking killed. When we were marching just strictly black people, we were getting shot and fucking hosed and all of that. But because it's not going to be big news because we're niggas not killed in the street.
Recently? I'm confused.
When we locked arms with them, they knew better than to kill those people. You want to know why? Because shit would get real. Like you can pretend like nothing became of it and son died in vain, but it's not true. It's not true. Yes, we got to eat the same cafeteria and we got more fucking opportunities in life. The system, yes, it's still flawed. It still sucked, but now we have a great.
That's my point to you. That's my point to you. To me, that was the crawl before we walk model. We are now in 2021, and you're saying crawl before we walk. How?
I didn't say. I said that back in Fred Hampton's day. Yes, okay. That's the call. I feel like we're walking to it now. We're not running.
Because he tried to unify everybody. What really ultimately took him down?
What took him down was what he was trying to do. Don't
beat around the bush. Answer the question on what took him down.
Answer the question. What took him down was exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to challenge the status quo. That's what got him killed.
Bam. What took him down? Who took him down?
That piece wouldn't have been in place if it wasn't for what he was trying to do.
Thank you.
What piece?
So one thing.
Why are y'all sitting here? Who took him down?
So yeah, the rat, the
I don't
infiltrator,
understand why.
William O'Neill was
who
that.
Poisoned him? Who poisoned him? Can we get to that? Can somebody ask me the question? Who poisoned that man? Kev, did you really see it?
Who poisoned him, Kev?
Yes, he wasn't poisoned. He was put to like they gave him a sleeping drug so that he wasn't as combative. But they would have just ended up killing everyone in the apartment.
Combative.
If he was walking around and trying to do everything else.
If he was combative, to make their point even better when they killed him. You're gonna tell me they poisoned a man that they're trying to kill and say he's sleeping, so then now it's even better for him to kill him? Kev, he was poisoned.
They were trying to make it easier on them. Why chase somebody through the neighborhood trying to kill him when he's like laying in his bed?
So who gets him the sleeping pill, Kev?
His own people.
I already said his own people.
So in your house, are you gonna go try and buy 4 new houses, or are you gonna fix the leak in your roof?
I mean, he didn't know he had a leak in his roof.
Because he wasn't focused on what was going on in his home. Because not only that, it wasn't just William O'Neill. It was the other person coming in that they had somebody else kill certain members. Did y'all not miss certain points in that joint where literally they were setting up shop in their own home? Fam, we keep worrying about what's going on in the other sides to unify them, and they're literally interrogating from the inside.
But how is he supposed to know that?
Can't worry about
How are you supposed to know that? Like think about it. Think about paid in full.
That's what I'm saying. When you're trying to do too much, if you're trying to unify here and your system in place, you always got to check the systems in place.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
Okay,
that happens in any situation. Look at
paid. I would say there's always
hold on. Situations that the damage the most.
Hold on, Kev. Let me go, Kev.
Like you got the damage the most. Who has lost the most because of it?
Hold on. I couldn't hear what you were saying.
It's gonna seem like them planting him, like those plants, because by the feds. They were planted by the feds. But you gotta understand, it happened in Nipsey. Nipsey was killed by his own people. Like Poe killed Al Poe killed what you would call it. Like it just happens that way.
But you're not hearing me though. It wasn't just, it's deeper than that, because they showed that it only wasn't William O'Neill. It was multiple people within that. Is my point.
I understand that, but there's no way to know that. People play by their own accords. Like if he seems like he's down, like if Kev shot you right now, we can't say it's because of some white people. Like if Kev decides he wants to hate what you're doing, he can shoot you right now.
That's completely okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Like he didn't get the unifiers. Point blank period. I was talking about MLK and the white people locking arms. You went back to Fred Hampton. He didn't get a chance to unify white people. Like Fred Hampton did not get that chance. MLK locked arms with white people, and that's not what got him killed. It's challenging the status quo.
No, I think that's exactly what, and that's what I was going to touch on that too.
Yeah, what's exactly you're saying? He challenged the status quo. The status quo was him unifying the people.
That's all I'm saying. But don't act like nothing good became of it.
No. It's not nothing. Nothing good became of it. It's just what my point is. We could be further along as a people if we just focused on us. Not saying that we can't have white allies or Spanish allies, but the thing is, we are bringing in allies, and we're trying to focus on us as a whole. They can come in to help us. It doesn't have to be us trying to unite everybody. That's not the problem. Let's focus on us. And you say, I believe that's what got Martin Luther King killed. Okay, in my opinion.
What happened in 42?
I just have a question. Why do we have to keep uniting everybody for something we didn't create?
Because what happened in Tulsa? They bombed us, and what happened? What happened? No one gave a fuck. No one gave a fuck. There was no white people there.
Still does, unfortunately, besides us.
That's what I'm saying, because there were no white people involved. We need our allies, whether you want to respect it or not. They wiped out a whole fucking working community. Like we built everything. We were ahead. We built everything. We had everything fully functioning, and then they destroyed it, and no one batted an eye because there was no one there they gave a fuck about. It's simple. They don't give a fuck about us.
We don't need the allies, but why do we have to go out our way to unify? If shit is so fucked up, why can't the allies try to unify with us?
Why can't the unity be everybody coming together to help us? Because obviously we're the one who got the shit under the stick.
And we still keep doing it. We literally still, to this day, we keep trying to unify.
It's us.
It didn't work.
What it seems like to me is it's always us coming together with other people for the greater good of everyone.
Yes.
It's not everybody coming together for the greater good of us.
100%.
We got the same shit. These white people don't have the struggles we have. Like, we're coming together to benefit us. We want to get equal playing field. They have it. They're ahead of us. They don't need to come to us. Why do they need to come to us? They're ahead. They have privilege. We're fighting for us to get the same privilege. We want benefit of the doubt. We need to fight for it. We need to put the work behind it. It's not going to come to us.
It hasn't yet. So cool.
It hasn't yet. I know. So,
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying shit has gotten better. We can't pretend like it didn't get better. It's fucked up, but it's better.
And relatively, it hasn't. No, if we gonna be on this pessimistic shit, I'm gonna take it all the way there. If we want to talk about relative time, it's the same shit that's happening then. It's the same thing that was happening now. It's no different. It's just the times have changed. Things get better with time. It's how it works. The more things change, the more they stay the same. And it's the same shit.
That's a lie. Who on this podcast has a bad job?
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm just saying, opportunity is better than it was 50-something years ago. Wasn't in our position.
But there's still the same problems that was within the opportunities that we had then are still within the same problems we have in the opportunities we have now.
That is not true. I will not act like it isn't better. It isn't better for us than it was back then.
Why do you have a racial inclusion group in your within your company?
Why do I have a racial inclusion? Because it's not perfect. It's not where it needs to be.
Why did they have to do what the fuck is it?
But you don't think having the ability to have a racial inclusion and diversity fucking group in my company isn't a privilege they did not have 50 years ago?
What is the name of the I can't think of the name of it's
serious question though. Serious question.
Sensitivity training, diversity, equity, and
bias, whatever you. Hey, quick question though. On a serious note, to combat with DZ, why do we always sometimes? This is the part about history we don't teach. And for as great as things that Martin Luther King did, why are we not always talking about some of the things that unfortunately we got left behind in? Like, we had jobs, things were booming, there were certain things that were bad, but within us there was great jobs. So some people actually felt integration set us back.
Everybody's gonna go back and forth about anything, bro. But like I said before,
I'm just asking because we say, oh, opportunity. Who had people had great jobs that they loved. When things got segregated.
Integrated. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, well, before, like when things were segregated, people had jobs that they technically loved. When integration happened, those jobs that people had, we lost. But we so focused on like there was the negative things or that was going on. Like there was great opportunity then. There was carpenters, there was painters, there was all that. They happened to lose those jobs once integration hit. But that's the part that they don't tell you. So then now it looks like, oh, we have this great opportunity and we don't have a job we like. In the surface based, yes, things have changed for the better for us because we're able to even have these conversations out loud. We have great jobs. We're doing phenomenal things, but there is still, it seems to me is way too much still going on from the times, and it's always the crawl before we walk, or things take time, and this and this and that. We're in our 30 years old having these conversations.
That's a fact. But we're having.
And it doesn't seem crazy. And then the thing that's bugging me in my mindset is like, it's almost like we're still taking the blueprint, the slow blueprint, and trying to plug it in like it works. I don't know what the answer is, but
at the same time, you got to think about how many people in our culture just don't give a fuck about our culture. Like, that's the thing. We can't even unify our own people. Why not? Like, this is what I mean. It's so many different layers to why we're not ahead, but we can't blame it on our relationships with white people and our allies. Like,
but I'm not.
We're not blaming it on that.
That's what me and Seth are trying to say.
We're not blaming it on that.
We're trying to let's get us right.
Let's get the people in our culture who has a fucked up mindset about it. Let's get them right before we start trying to incorporate everybody else and trying to work on everybody else and getting everybody else to include us in some other shit. Let's focus on us. That's all. That's basically all I'm saying. I'm not saying exclude them from them helping us focus on us.
Okay, have you not tried that in life ever to talk to someone that's where you used to be and try to get them on the same page you are now?
But that's in everywhere. That's the crazy thing to sit there and try to blame that.
I'm not blaming it. I'm just saying to fix us, we need to be willing to fix us.
But
A
we
lot of
can't
people
fix
don't
us.
want it. A lot of people are comfortable where they're at,
Open
doing what they're
spaces
doing.
that don't want us, and then you trying to fix us. What? It's like counterproductive.
It's not counterproductive. It's like I'm trying to get in front of the right people to make it better for all my people. I'm sorry, we're not going to get every black person on board. So we need to take the people that look like us, who are high enough to where people will listen, and try to change it ourselves. That's all I'm saying. We can't blame it on our relationships with white people. All I said is the allies are great. Allies have done great over the years.
Me and Sesh are not saying that. Me or Sesh are not saying that. We are saying if maybe just a little bit more focus on us could be a difference maker. Because all the time and time again, we are constantly focused on our allies. That's all.
Okay, so I'll combat that with this. So I've been listening to all your points, obviously, and I'll say I hear what you're saying, but that was a blueprint for the Nation of Islam. That was something that was used. Black pride, Black beauty, the power in oneness was the model for Nation of Islam. They didn't want to bring in outsiders. They were all about the Black people. But again, that was also where they faltered. The inability to make connections and make relationships was one of the reasons they weren't able to take that next step.
Mm-hmm.
So I completely agree with you. But again, also with the Nation of Islam, because like the Black Panther Party, it is something that is so wide reaching and so has its fingers and has its hooks in so many different things. You can't truly know what is going on at every microcosm within an organization. There's always going to be traitors. Malcolm was like there's always someone that has their own agenda at heart, whether it's trying to avoid jail time, trying to better their family by getting some money, trying to dress better. Because I'm sure throughout the movie you notice his gear also progressed as the time went on, that he was doing more and giving them more information and all that other shit. It's like they show you all these progressions throughout the film, and it goes to say that unification, the power in numbers with sharing that message was important, because it changed a generation of people that didn't look like us, people that are making those policies, people that were involved in many different things. So his ability to bridge those gaps and make those relationships probably did make us take a couple steps more than just crawling. Staying within the microcosm, yes, benefits the group of people that are within that, but it may not help the next generation or two. So I see I see both sides of it. But again, I think there's faults.
I think the issue is, and I think I'm not saying there is no need for allyship. There is. It's flat out. Don't get me wrong. I don't necessarily agree that it's got to be one wholehearted. Not hear me out. I'm saying it's the reach that we constantly keep going to for the allyship. When if we are just preaching the message of whatever that is about just being, not for yourself, but for focusing on the betterment of the community, I feel allies will come. Because we haven't tried it. If we're preaching the message the right way, that's all I'm saying. It's not having to go and literally keep constantly immersing yourself with all these DEI, with all this and that, when it's like, man, if we are just doing the positive, whatever we need to do within our message, but still keeping it on us, allies are going to come. But we keep time and time again throwing ourselves out there for allyship. The allies, if they're allies and they're good people, 95% of the time, you don't have to have a problem getting allies. You don't have to recruit allies. Good people are good people. They're going to come. Bad people are going to be bad people. But when the message is consistent and there's something you're doing, people are always gonna good people, good allies are always gonna thrive towards positivity no matter what. So when you're
let's close it up. Let's close the topic. DZ, you say what you need to you say your last words on it. Kev, you say your last words on it, and we move to the next jump.
You think realistically we doing our own thing, and some white people are just gonna come and be like,
here's the thing. It's not me saying white people, right? He unified.
All right. Ally shit. You building the deck on your house, like I'm not gonna come and be like, pass me that hammer, like no, like if you need my help or you want my help, like just ask me. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to help. I am happy to help you build your deck. But like if you're not asking me, I'm just not gonna.
It's out crazy. He be pulling up the backyard. My neighbor, he pull up in the backyard like, hey, you need some squash or you need help with that? No joke, don't it? It happens.
I get it, but it's not gonna happen if it's a strictly, you know what I mean, you in your backyard and it looks a certain way that me not being from that backyard, I'm gonna be like, yo, like I'm not gonna volunteer. I'm like, yo, I'm here if you need me, but like I want to help. Like, why not be involved from the beginning?
Because after a while when you're even how neighbors work, right? For the most part, you have a neighbor, cool, they see you, you say hello, you introduce yourself, right? Going off your point. After a while, years pass, what happens? You either naturally form a bond or you don't.
That's a fact. I'm not the person to ask for help. I'm the type of person, I'm gonna build it, and if somebody else is building something, I'm gonna help. I'm just gonna if it looks like something I'm gonna step in and I'm gonna help. I'm not asking anybody for anything. If you want to help me, I will take it. And that's basically what I'm saying in the whole guise of all of this. And Kev, what you said about the Nation of Islam, that's literally what I'm saying. The downfall was the fact that it became outwardly to the people as if they didn't want any white people in it. But if you look at if you read Malcolm X, once he took his trip to Mecca, he saw that there were Muslims of all different kinds. And he realized, okay, we do need these allies, but we need these allies to focus on us. We need these people to help. But I'm not going out asking for help. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm already building it. You're helping me because you see the cause in which you see the work that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I didn't go to Trav and say like, bro, like, I'm trying to be down with AIM because I'm just trying to like, he was building something. It was a cause that was bigger than anything that I was already doing. Instead of me trying to build something on my own, this is my guy. I'm just gonna come over and help. Whether he wanted it, well, I'm just gonna get in where I fit in, kind of thing. And that to me, that type of help means more than you going out and asking somebody for something. Because when you ask somebody for something, they're looking for something in return.
Transactional.
So just to kind of, we it's all of us. We feel strongly about Fred Hampton and his moves and everything that he brought to our community. But today we got, or what was it, yesterday? Hove, Sean Carter, Jay-Z sold 50% of, was it Ace of Spade to, was it LVMH,
something like that?
LVMH, something like that, LVMH.
Hennessy Company, it's a French liqueur brand.
So a byproduct of,
see, baby.
Facts.
What was that?
Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy.
So a byproduct of Fred Hampton and Sean Carter now owning the business and selling half of that business and growing his wealth for the community. How y'all feel about that?
I mean, Jay can't do no wrong, man. I mean, he can do wrong. He's done a lot wrong, right? He's made a lot of mistakes. But I think the thing is man, you keep making mistakes, man. People gonna push back, and then you do the right thing, man. So, I mean, I don't know. It's Jay, right? I mean, he's always got a master plan, and it's showing what happens when you just kind of do some good things. People want to be a part. of it. Haha. See how I threw that plug in there.
No, they weren't a part of it. They own half of it.
And now he's a part. He's a part of it. Boom. They won a stake.
So in reality, if he's still part majority owner, he owns 51%. They own 49%. But it doesn't look good to say that they own 49%. So to understand how it actually works, in order to maintain majority within a company, you need to have more than 50% of the stocks, or maintain control of at least 50% of the stocks.
Big Turbo.
All right, since we about an hour in, we might as well get to the shits, right? I thought it was real powerful how the owner, not the CEO, the president, not the vice president or recruiter, said, "Yo, Hov, son, I'm gonna call you on Thursday." Thursday morning, Hov's phone rings. The deal got done. Now, this is the owner of every single brand anyone who wants to look rich supports and puts money in. No one knows who the hell this guy is, and no one gets the opportunity to talk to this guy. But this guy calls Hov, not Hov calling him. He calls Hov to acquire 49% of his business. That is very powerful to me in the definition of the power Sean Carter has.
Okay.
Anything to say, Sash?
Yeah. So I'm gonna add some context to what DZ is giving us right now. So after, obviously, we all ecstatic. We're all huge Jay-Z fans. You know what it is. Everybody knows the vibes. So like probably most people, you in your chat, within your group, you send a link. Hov, look at the video. Hov just sold 49% of Ace of Spade, and within that interview, Hov mentioned that they said they were going to call, or the owner, whoever you want to say, the owner said he was going to call on Thursday, and Thursday morning my phone rang. DZ said, that's power. I said, picking up your phone and calling somebody when you said you're going to call them, that's not power. That's just respecting someone's time. I think the power, in my opinion, the power is him actually talking to him. The act of him dialing his phone, it's not power. It's just something that we're reading into a little too much, just because we're huge Hov fans. That's my opinion.
All right. So let's take Hov out and put Trev in.
Mm-hmm.
The owner of LVMH calls Trevor Costin and says, "Y'all want to acquire 49% of your business, right?" The owner of a multi-billion-dollar corporation who doesn't do that and says, "I'm gonna call you on Thursday." And Hov, like most people, like, all right, let's see what happens. He calls him Thursday morning, which means I'm very serious about this deal. That's power. Who else do you know he talked to? There are plenty of people. So then how is that not power? The owner of the company.
The power is in the conversation. It's not in him returning the phone call. The point that what I took from the conversation wasn't the fact that the owner just decided one day, you know what, I'm gonna call Jay-Z and get half an Ace of Spade. The way I took it was, before I'm going to sell 49% of my company to another company, I need to talk to the owner of this company. So I'm assuming, this is just me assuming, that Hov said I need to talk to him before anything happens. They talk to him. He's within a deal. Him getting him on the phone after he says he wants to talk to him, or if he gets on the phone to talk to him actually getting him on the phone and talking. Them talking about the deal is where the power lies. Once we're talking about that deal, if the deal isn't done on that day, and I'm talking to the owner, and the owner says, you know what, man, it's getting late. I know you got kids. I know you got other things going on. Beyonce, you're trying to suck some souls or whatnot. Let me get off the phone. I'm gonna hit you tomorrow, G. him calling him the next day when he said he's going to call him, that's not power.
First of all,
That's me respecting your time. It's no different from us getting on, saying we're going to get on the pod on Friday, and Kev hitting us saying, bro, I can't get on this week. It's him being respectful of our time. It's not him.
Can we stop putting ourselves in billionaire shoes?
You threw Trev in it.
I threw Trev in it because you needed to sub Hove out of it, because the concept is ridiculous. This man doesn't call anybody to make his own deals. He's that successful and wealthy. He does not make his own deals. So by Jay-Z saying, I need to talk to him, that's power. I'm not doing no deals if I don't talk to the man.
So
that's power.
Question, is Jay-Z making his own deals?
He did then.
No, I'm just by
made you powerful.
Not,
You're making it seem like that wasn't power in the move Jay-Z made. They're both powerful people.
Exactly. And the power is within the conversation. Isn't within the phone call.
The initial conversation, I'm sure, wasn't between the two of them, or they would have just done it then and there. I'm sure his people reached out to his people, and Jay-Z said, I'm not talking to nobody but the owner. So as powerful as that man is, he said, all right, I'm gonna call him on Thursday. And he called on Thursday. You just made Jay-Z more powerful by saying, I'm not talking to nobody but the owner. and the owner called him.
Was he supposed to call on Friday?
Huh?
Was he supposed to call on Friday?
I'm saying by him calling, he could have said, no, I'm LV. This man has more money than he could ever need. He could have said, fuck that. Who do you think he is? I'm LVMH. Like, Jay-Z's not on that level of wealth.
I see what DZ's saying. What he's saying is that the power to bring someone like that to the phone, like the power in that status and in that branding and what he's done to get himself to that point. I see the point. It's like,
so the power is in the conversation. It's not.
No, the power is what he's established prior to that conversation. There is no conversation without the power, is the point that DZ's making. Okay, so I'm understanding it.
Okay, exactly. So when you say that, in context of what we're talking about, he was talking about him returning a phone call.
He did not call him to begin with, is what I'm trying to get to you. His people call his people.
Know that. I'm going off of the interview. What we just watched. When we watched it, they said they were going to call on Thursday. He called on Thursday.
It was set up for him to call. That was probably the first. If they were talked already, they would have hashed the deal out. Yo, let's talk numbers. What we talking about? Like, I'm not gonna call you, speak to you for a half an hour, and say, yo, I'm gonna call you tomorrow, boss. Like, no. Like,
it's $2 billion companies. The deal doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen in 30 minutes.
Talking about the conversation between them two. Everything else is not done by them. Jay-Z doesn't run his own numbers. LVMH doesn't run his own numbers.
So that was the conversation.
That was the conversation to get the deal done. The phone call, the powerful phone call. The phone call from him directly is what I'm saying.
The phone call is made
Let me chop this fable up, though, DZ, because what you have been saying is inconsistent with what you're actually saying. Because you keep saying the power was, yo, he said, I'm going to call you on Thursday, Jay-Z, and he called Jay-Z on Thursday. You're like, that's power.
That's power.
No, he said he was going to call him on Thursday. He called him on Thursday.
From a man that calls no one? Like, that's power.
But he said he was going to call.
I don't care what he said he's going to do.
And real talk, real rap, raw, what they be saying, right? Oh, they used to say. How many people do you know he's called and haven't called?
I know he didn't call Nas or Kanye West.
But that's not the question of, I said, how many people do you know that he has called and hasn't called? I'm sure there's other people he's called.
I'm sure it is, but he was on the interview just cheesing while host talking about the deal. Like, he's actually on a video, like, talking about the deal, cheesing with Hope. Like, I've never seen that man in my life.
But you keep saying the power was that he said he was going to call him on Thursday and call him on Thursday.
Call him on Thursday. That's power. You never call me when you say you're going to call me. I have zero power with you. Jay-Z has a French billionaire man that calls him when he says he's going to call him. And my little brother won't call me when he said he's going to call me.
See, we ain't talking no $250 million deal.
We could be, but you don't call me.
See, See, this is how this happens. We would get into it. We get into the circle. Then it go.
We talking power. This is my little brother. I know power over my brother. Like I have no power. My brother respects me less than LVMH guy respects Jay-Z. Like I have zero power to get a phone call. I get a text 2 days later. My bad. It got crazy. Yo, I'll be through there on the way to Saco. Like, that's what I get. Yo, I get text 2 days after.
Wow. It's another one. It's another one in the books. Y'all know the vibes, man. We never gonna get it. We never gonna get there. We'll get there in a minute.
It take time.
So,
and shout out to Wilson technical difficulties today. We have some trouble in the back end, man.
He called him Wilson.
Wilson technical difficulties.
Wilson technical difficulties, man. Shout out to the holding it down for us. That's my guy, man. It's a good dude, man. Solid individual, stand tall, stand strong.
This was Pizzazz God. Shout out to my man T for passing the rock and letting Booby spin for the day. You know, switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, I just figured.
This Pizzazz God. You know, appreciate you, my guy.
These technical difficulties are so my man gets time in the podcast. Y'all ain't do the science.
Knowledge born. Mr. Wilson Tech, what you got to say to us, Mr. Wilson Technical Difficulties?
Yeah, come off mute now. They see you.
Oh, see.
Okay, I see. He got some wizardry going on.
Close the shit out. It's my fault.
Yeah.
I see. Good words. I like it.
Well, y'all know what it is, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's
See
get
y'all
to
Friday.
it. We'll get there in a minute. Peace.
This ain't the life that we chose, but it's the life that we live in. Know we belong on the